Chapter 324, Reincarnation of an Immortal Lord. His words were basically submissive. He did not want to fight with Song Shi anymore. They were not in the mood to fight now. The greatest threat was still the Sky Demon Saint. Once it recovered its strength and made a comeback, they would not have any way to deal with it for the time being. At this moment, no one would benefit if they fought with the blood-robed old ghost. Moreover, the blood-robed old ghost's abilities were strange. If they could cooperate, they might be able to have another capable helper next time. Based on these considerations, he tacitly agreed with the truth, that the other party had distorted and did not want to push this person to the opposite side. Emperor Qian is wise. Song Shi was very satisfied and felt a sense of accomplishment. In his opinion, using actions and words to successfully get rid of this giant blame was more interesting than leaving two bloody holes for the Sky Demon Saint. Perhaps this was the true essence of cultivation. As long as he wanted to, he could change everything that was unfavorable to him. What's the big deal about dumping the blame? The spirit guard's expression changed. He was not stupid. After realizing these problems, he immediately retreated obediently. Song Shi did not pursue the matter. He chuckled and said, "In the future, as long as you don't provoke me, everything will be fine. You can even ask me to kill that demon saint. If young Master Song can really get rid of the demon saint, I, Wuxia, will marry you." Princess Wuxia took a step forward and spoke shockingly again. She could tell that this person's ability was quite effective against the Sky Demon Saint. She was willing to sacrifice herself to win the other party's cooperation. Song Shi looked at her from the corner of his eye and looked at her with admiration. How many women were willing to sacrifice the rest of their lives in exchange for good of the people? Since the other party dared to speak, it could be seen how bold and broad-minded she was. He smiled. "I've never rejected a beautiful woman throwing herself at me. You should prepare to get married then. Then it's a deal. If young master can kill the Sky Demon Saint, you'll be in existence like a new saint in this world. It's my honor to be able to marry you." Wu Shi smiled brightly. Her eyes were clear and calm, with sincerity. She did not seem to be lying. Emperor Qian did not say anything. At this moment, someone needed to ease the relationship between the two sides. Marriage was a common method. Moreover, his daughter was not stupid enough to marry this old ghost for free. Instead, she had set an especially high condition: kill the Sky Demon Saint. This was an extremely difficult task for him. It might even be impossible. Even if he refined numerous treasures, there was not much hope. He did not think that the blood-robed old ghost could do it. Although the other party had injured the Sky Demon Saint today, that was because the Sky Demon Saint was already at the end of his rope and had less than 10% of his strength left. If the other party had recovered to his peak, no one in this world would have been able to kill him. It would be good enough if they could protect himself. Because of this, he tacitly agreed to this agreement. The others also thought that this was a joke. The Sky Demon Saint was in existence on the level of an ancient saint. How could he be so easy to kill? Wuxia, I like it when you call me young master. Everyone else, remember to call me young master in the future. Don't King call me blood-robed old ghost anymore. I'm the reincarnation of an immortal, not some bullshit blood-robed old ghost. I've already killed him." Song Shi's words were shocking. He directly denied the identity that he had used for a long time. Reincarnation of an immortal? Emperor Qian narrowed his eyes. If these words were true, then this person's various unbelievable abilities were much more reasonable. Everyone's expressions changed as they looked at Song Shi. Previously, in their impression, he was a demon who committed all kinds of evil and used all kinds of methods. He was the kind of person who was hated by everyone. Now that he had the identity of a reincarnated immortal, he instantly felt much brighter and more majestic. It was as if all the rumors from before had become positive. So the blood-robed old ghost did not possess him but died in his hands. That's most likely the case. I've seen blood-robed old ghost before, but he definitely wasn't so bold. If it's really the blood-robed old ghost, he definitely wouldn't have attacked under the circumstances just now. Instead, he would have submitted to the Sky Demon Saint. Hearing everyone's discussion, Song Shi's subtlety noticed that everyone's opinions were changing. He secretly praised himself for being good at bullshitting. He felt that if he seized the opportunity today, he would be able to change the negative effects that the blood-robed old ghost identity had brought to him. He struck while the iron was hot. If you really want to address me respectfully, please call me Immortal Lord. Emperor Qian narrowed his eyes. This is your true identity, right? You can think whatever you want. From now on, the title Blood-Robed Old Ghost will completely disappear. There will only be Young Master Song, Elder Song, and the Immortal Lord. With his hands behind his back, Song Shi turned around and walked into the distance. The crowd behind him whispered to each other and gradually became rowdy. What do you mean? Why isn't he called Blood-Robed Old Ghost anymore? Didn't you hear him say that he's the reincarnation of an immortal and not the blood-robed old ghost? So he gave himself a new title called Perfected Immortal Lord? This title is indeed much more domineering than the blood-robed old ghost. I would choose this too. On the ruins, many cultivators watched Song Shi leave. Some admired him, while others had complicated expressions. They knew that from today onwards, the names of Young Master Song and the Immortal Perfected Lord would resound throughout the continent, and the blood-robed old ghost would become a thing of the past. Song Shi left the imperial city in a few steps and turned around to take a look. He muttered to himself, "Don't worry, the trouble that I've released will be resolved sooner or later. Sky Demon Saint, if you know what's good for you, scram back. If you want to wreak havoc in my hometown, I don't mind exhausting you to death." With that said, Song Shi took out the flying ship and prepared to meet up with Bai Zhaoqin and the others. On the way, he discovered a group of cultivators rushing to the imperial city. When they saw the figure among them, they hurriedly stopped. He used divine teleportation footwork and arrived in front of the team in the blink of an eye. Who? Pheasanteth Heaven Sword King, who was traveling with all his might, sensed the danger. He shouted and stopped warily. Seeing that it was Song Shi, some information echoed in his mind, and cold sweat broke out on his forehead. Not long ago, this person did not pose much of a threat to him, but now, facing him, his soul could not help but tremble. Don't be nervous. I don't mean any harm. Song Shi shook his head. When he saw the Zenith Heaven Sword King, he felt a little emotional. Back in the Thousand Poisons mountain range, this person's sword tore through the sky and felt exceptionally domineering and powerful. Now, in such a short period of time, the other party was not even qualified to be his opponent. He looked at a heroic woman with an otherworldly temperament in the team. I'm here to return your sword today. As he spoke, he took out his spiritual sword and threw it to Chen Yiling, who was in a daze. You're giving it back to me? Chen Yiling felt that it was a little unreal. Back then, when her sword was snatched away by this guy, she thought that she would never be able to get it back. Your sword has helped me a few times. It's quite useful. This is a reward for letting me use it. Song Shi threw out a storage ring with some cultivation resources inside. See you again. With that, his figure suddenly disappeared. If not for the echoing voice, one would have thought that he had never appeared. Chen Yiling held the storage ring and the spiritual sword in a daze. She felt the temperature on it, and for some reason, she felt a little disappointed. Shang Zheng, the spiritual sword hummed softly. She did not know if it was reluctant to part with Song Shi, the temporary user, or comforting its true owner. After confirming that Song Shi had left, the Zenith Heaven Sword King heaved a sigh of relief and said, I wonder how the Imperial City is. It's probably too late for us to rush back. Suddenly, the token on his waist lit up and a message came. After receiving it, he looked up in shock. The city is actually safe for the time being. Moreover, this person's name is Young Master Song and Immortal Perfected Lord. He's not the blood-robed old ghost.